Hi guys, it is Dynamic Red, and I am finally doing my video that I've been telling you guys I was wanting to do to show you guys how to do a basic tarantula setup, and that is that I want to try to do a more talk about the basic setup for a curly hair. And as you see here, it is kind of dusty and everything. I did have to redo her closure. She did not enjoy a couple different plans and whatnot. So she likes it pretty basic. She likes it with just the substrate, the hide, the cork bark, and one plant. And she will actually attack when I put some water in the water dish. She will do a weird attack, but I am not going to interrogate her today. I just want to give simple, basic tips on how to set up a simple setup for curly hair. We can also say hi to a couple of my tarantulas. There's Kickbutt back there. Has started refusing to eat, so I'm assuming pre-molt here very soon. Here I have Burnt Toast, which you can see his little legs hanging out down here. And here I have his Gem, my green bottle loosening, if you guys are wondering who that is. That is a pink-toed tarantula. Kickbutt is my rose hair. And this one here, as you see, they had completely sealed themselves off. This is Blondie, the Arizona Blonde. And I actually did move some of the substrate to check on Blondie, and they decided to immediately to kick hair. So Blondie's doing pretty good. And of course, I do have Onyx, my Asian Forest Scorpion there. So curly hairs are typically from Costa Rica, and it's between the two Americans. Sorry. And believe it or not, they are a grassland type of tarantula, and they require high humidity, and you find them in grasslands near water and at like bottom trees and whatnot. And they are a ground dwelling tarantula that is a terrestrial, which is for to be more on the ground than they are in the trees and climbing. They prefer staying on the ground and in the ground, basically. So a lot of times people say that typically for an adult you want a 10 size gown, which that's what Sidra is in, or you go by 12 and 12 and 8 inches, because you want to give them at least 3 to 4 inches of substrate. Sidra actually has a lot more than that because she was digging a lot, and she was really digging. Like, she was wanting to just constantly dig. So I gave her extra substrate, and then it got to the point she actually took out the plants. I have a few plants in there, and then I had a lot more substrate in there, and she decided to start taking the plants out apart and didn't like anything I was doing. She was more on the defense side than anything. So I took upon myself to start doing some upgrades, even though it was more of a downgrade. I took out a few inches of substrate. I also took out all plants but one, and then I left the cork bark and the hide in it, which as you saw was in the slope into the dirt. And the substrate that I have is this Eco Earth dirt, basically, and it is loose coconut fiber substrate, and as you see, this is very loose substrate of coconut fibers. And then it was also mixed with non-treated pod soil. You want non-treated pod soil. You don't want anything that has stuff in it. And it makes it a little easier for them to burrow, which in fact all of them have substrate that's just like that in their enclosures. And ever since I kind of upgraded her enclosure, she actually started to be more mellow, more happy, and she's actually out more. She likes to hang out a lot more. And then if I give her more substrate, she gets a little more defensive and just does not seem like a happy tarantula. So what if you don't have a tank and whatnot, and you have this tarantula suddenly, which by the way, I don't recommend just getting animals just to get and don't have anything set up. I do suggest always do research, always do have a plan ahead, not just a sudden, unless you already do have extra stuff at home. So I actually do have 2 extra things I can use. There's this tank here that actually housed my Asian forest scorpion, and it also housed the pink toe metallica that I had that I actually gave a lot of different climbing areas, but it wasn't doing well. I actually had to take that one back, and that's how I end up getting Sidra. That is actually a 15-gallon per se. That's not the correct measurements, but the one that Sidra is in is a little smaller, but it is very suitable. And I also do have this guy here, ouch, with all my extra stuff in it. As you see, there are air holes on 2 sides. And like I said, this has all my extra stuff in it, like I have stuff for the crickets, and I also have other plants. I have pots, other dishes, and other decorated type stuff. And so if I was going to house my curly hair in this, I would have filled it with this much substrate. And let's say you don't have a hide. A simple clay pot does work, or you can cut a Rizzo cup in half. It's funny, my sling, when I was really little, used to have this. And it would actually hide in it. It was amazing. So, and then they like to take cover, so you want to give them some places to where they can chill out underneath, kind of like, let's say you have this guy, but not standing up. You can have it kind of placed sideways a little bit, and there's coverage underneath. And then cork bark. It's always needed. You always need cork bark, especially for ones that needs moisture. Now, like I said, curly hair is one of them that does need a lot of moisture, and I actually miss my curly hairs, Sidra, and I also miss burnt toast, my pink toe tarantula. Every 3 days, I miss their enclosures down to give them the proper amount of humidity. I actually do have like little humidity readers in their enclosures. I'll show you. As you see up here, so I can't get in a weird angle because if I don't have light, you can't see it. So here, that is Sidra's, and here is Burnt Toast's one. I use these to read me the humidity of their enclosures. Hi, Jim. I love Jim. Hi. Where'd you come from? There's no way you're in there. I hope this enclosure's not open. Anyhow, I got the cricket out of here. I don't know how I got it in here. I actually checked on Bonnie. She's fine. I gave the cricket to Sidra. She is my most very unpicky eater ever. And she's doing her little happy dance. Okay. So, like I said, she has not as much. She don't have about 6 inches anymore. She used to, but she got really defensive. So, she just seemed like very unhappy, which is sad. She seemed very, very unhappy. But yeah, that tells me what humidity does that for her. for burnt toast, which I still don't know the sex because it likes to tear up its molts every time it molts. So that is that. And you know, like the Asian forest scorpion, they like to burrow, so I gave it an odd amount of substrate, and she's pretty happy and she eats very well. So that is pretty much the basics. It's what you really need for like a curly hair. Just lots of moisture, and you also want to make sure you do give them a cup of water. As you see, mine needs more water. You want to give them water dish. Give them places to hide, and enough substrate so they can dig, because they are literally burrowing tarantulas. Arizona blondes are too, but my Arizona blonde likes to burrow very little, so it does not have a whole lot of substrate in there, but it's happy and it likes what it's got. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm not gonna fight with Blondie about it. I'm not gonna aggravate her more because she's been kicking hairs like crazy, and I can't afford getting tarantula hair all over me. So that is that. That is the literally most basic tarantula enclosure setup. It is really like Sidra. She's like my most basic tarantula I've ever have, and I don't have a whole lot for her, as you saw. I hope this was a little bit helpful for you guys. I hope that you guys did enjoy, and I hope that it does good for you. Like I said, they are from Costa Rica and they are grassland tarantulas. They are like to be on the ground underneath trees. They like to burrow. They like to live near water, and you can feed them dibble roaches, crickets, superworms, mealworms. You know, about all the goodies you can feed them, really, and they're pretty happy about it. Like, well, mine is. Burnt Toast is absolutely scared of mealworms. Don't know why, but absolutely scared of worms. If it's not a cricket, won't even touch it. So I have to keep getting crickets because of Burnt Toast. And so, like I said, back on track. That is the really most basic tarantula home you can do. You can also give them like dry leaves, as you saw on Kickbutt and Blondie, the two with the green lids. You can give them dry leaves. That was all the dry leaves I have. And also for like high moisture tarantulas, you can also use moss and have it soaked and then put it in there, and you can spray it down. You don't want to put moss in there drenching wet, so that helps hold the humidity up. But I always have problems with moss. Every moss I can get my hands on, and it's dry and it doesn't soak up water. It doesn't help humidity at all, and it's just a mess for me. So I would rather keep coming in and give a couple sprays that they need, and that's about it. I mean, that was just the most literally basic setup I can tell you guys that you can do with tarantulas. Some of them, they don't even need like decorations. Like, I can't remember what species, but it just burrows, and that's all it does. It just burrows deep down. And said I was going to post a video the day I post one video saying, hey, I found my camera, I'm charging it, and I'm uploading at least 2 videos. That never happened. Which is that Chris came home that day and said, we're going on an adventure. And he did that for the next 3 nights. So it became almost impossible for me to shoot a video, but now I finally did it, and here you guys go. Ta-da. And so I'll see you guys next time. I will be trying to get my life back on track fully and be posting more videos, and hopefully I'll get back on to Dynamic Wild Facts. I actually do have... Oh my god. Okay, well apparently I don't have my notebook because I actually have my notebook with the Dynamic Red Facts Dynamic Wild Facts, and there are at least 3 different reports that are finished. I just have to get pictures and then shoot it, and then ta-da! But hopefully, like I said, I can do more. I will be able to. It's just that my filming days and then my editing days are probably going to be 2 opposite things. So depending the days I can shoot will be the days, you know, shoot, and then hopefully start editing, and then it just goes from there when I can edit in between, because I do work a full-time job and I do have about 20 pets. So, and for some people are like, that's not many, and other people are like, oh my god, that's a whole lot. So I'll see you guys next time. I hope you guys enjoy, and I'm sorry it was so awkward, this video. I feel so much cringe gonna happen, especially when I edited this video. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.